children.
Good morning, teacher Olivia.
How are you today?
We are thank you, teacher Olivia.
Today we are going to start our lesson. We are going to start our
lesson.
Let us sing our song. We sing our
song.
Are you ready for the song?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, little children. How are you?
We are fine.
Good morning, little children. How are you?
We are fine.
Good morning, little children. Good morning, little children. What are those red things up? For the baby. A house for the baby. Wow, good. Good. My friend, what is that you're doing? Eh? You're playing with these ones. Eh, what are they? What are these ones? This one, what is this? It's apple. How about this one? Okay, thank you. You continue playing. Anna, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah? Anna, what are you doing? You're playing with cards. And these cards have something for you. What is this? Yeah? Yeah? It's a pot. A pot for? What do you use a pot for? Thank you. Good. Now, which sound is this? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. And what is this? A zebra. Wow, give me 5. Good, yeah? Good job. Okay, continue playing with you continue playing with your cards as you read. Yes, please. Shan. Just keep playing the sound. Okay. Which sound is this one? Sound. Good. Sound. Okay. Hello, children.
Hello, teacher Olivia.
Okay. Come here. Come. Good. Sit. Shan, come. Shan, come. Jaira, come. Wow. Good children.
Good teacher.
Did you like what you read?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
What did you read? Who can tell us what she read? What did you make? You made a house. Wow, good. Give me 5. You're good. Sit. Yeah, what did you make? You made a cake. You're good. Give me 5. Shan, what did you make? You made the sun. Okay, thank you. Give me 5. What did you make? You made numbers. Okay, give me 5. You made the cards. Okay, thank you. You're good children. You're good. What did you make? You made a house for the cake. Give me 5. Cheto? You made what? You gave medicine to that one. Give me 5. You made the sound. Okay, thank you very much. Now, children. Hello, children.
Hello, teacher.
We are going to tie up. We are going to tie up.
Let's clap for all the children.
Okay, children, clap for yourselves. You're good children. up. We are going to tidy up. This is how we tidy up. Tidy up. Tidy up. This is how we tidy up. This is how we tidy up. Tidy up. Tidy up. This is how we tidy up in your class. This is how we tidy up. Tidy up. Tidy up. This is how we tidy up in your class.
Children benefit a lot when they are engaged in quality ECD services. These include high social skills, improved literacy and numeracy skills, better adjustment to school, better physical development, and early identification of talents. The problem arises from the fact that not all children are able to access high-quality ECD services, as only 22% access in Uganda, 61% in Kenya, and 21.6% in Zimbabwe. The situation is worse for children in marginalized communities that have limited access to commercialized early learning services. It's even more bleak for children with special needs who are in rural and marginalized communities. These poor communities cannot afford high costs of providing early childhood education services. They don't have teachers to take care of the children, and there is generally low attitudes towards the investment in early childhood education. Children actually benefit a lot from early learning, and they have the opportunity to get out of the poverty cycle if they participate in it. iHELP was introduced. The project was pioneered by Kyambogo University, Uganda, in collaboration with Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology in Kenya and the University of Zimbabwe.
Inclusive home-based learning project iHELP is an implementation research that has three broad objectives. The first one is knowledge exchange and sharing. The second one is capacity building of parents and other stakeholders to support it. The third one is system strengthening at the local and national levels.
iHELP is an inclusive home-based early learning project. It is scaling up the Lab home-based model that is being implemented in northern and western regions of Uganda.
iHELP integrates inclusive aspects, home-based care components, and also the play component in it.
Our conceptualization puts together two different concepts. The concept of home-based and the concept of center-based learning. We have seen the nursery schools that are good, but they have a weakness of overly academic. So children are pumped with academic things and they become robots. Then home-based centers are very good that they teach morals, they teach physical aspects, but cognitively they're deficient.
The project aims to support 16 centers in 4 districts in Uganda, 8 in 2 districts in Kenya, and 8 in 2 districts in Zimbabwe.
Project Officer, CES International Uganda, and I'm coordinating the iHELP project, Inclusive Home-Based Early Learning Project, and it's implemented in the 4 districts, that is Buikwe, Kalaki, Kalungu, and Kaliro.
The project is being implemented in Kenya, Kakamega County, in 3 wards, Idaho East, Idaho South, and Idaho Central.
We have established, let's say, 3, 2 we are fully which are fully running, 1 which is about to start, which is starting, in the 4th one which is about to start. And we are going to have in this phase 8 centers.
It is built around homes volunteered by their owners with an agreement from other community members. Such homes are within the reach of children in marginalized communities, the eliminate transport and safety concerns.
We utilize the 5-day model, where there are 2 days for the teacher and 2 days for the parents and the 5th day for play. And for the 2 days for the parents, they are teaching the children on social emotional development. There is, the children are learning on how to be a good citizen, how to be a good community member, how to be a good person in the community.
Yoza chikopa choveyo amala koza chichenga avayo
For the 2 days for the teacher, they are teaching the children peoples on humanness and literacy, those coping skills that are important on the intellectual development of the children. they ordinarily engage in play in almost all days, but this day is set for play only, and this helps actually those children with disabilities who may not be able to participate fully or at the same level with all when it comes to numerous, when it comes to craft work, when it comes to literacy, but when it comes to play, every child can still engage in play. So it's play that is actually facilitated by the teacher or anybody who is supervising the pupils there. Because if they are left on their own, sometimes some of the pupils who have not gained actually the proper skills on the social emotional development may end up injuring their colleagues. So there has to be somebody who is overseeing or sometimes even helping them on so that they may not just spend the whole day doing the same thing. They have to engage in many things that may help them both actually social emotional and even physically. So basically that's the 5-day model where we are the children are being taken through the different routines.
Now you have what a cohort of people who now can work together amicably.
Children benefit a lot when they are engaged in quality ECD services. These include high social skills, improved literacy and numeracy skills, better adjustment to school, better physical development, and early identification of talents. The problem arises from the fact that not all children are able to access high-quality ECD services, as only 22% access in Uganda, 61% in Kenya, and 21.6% in Zimbabwe. The situation is worse for children in marginalized communities that have limited access to commercialized early learning services. Even more bleak for children with special needs who are in rural and marginalized communities. These poor communities cannot afford high costs of providing early childhood education services. They don't have teachers to take care of the children, and there is generally low attitudes towards the investment in early childhood education. Children actually benefit a lot from early learning, and they have the opportunity to get out of the poverty cycle if they participate in it. iHELP was introduced. The project was pioneered by Kyambogo University, Uganda, in collaboration with Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology in Kenya and the University of Zimbabwe.
Inclusive home-based learning project, iHELP is an implementation research that has 3 broad objectives. The first one is knowledge exchange and sharing. The second one is capacity building of parents and other stakeholders to support it. The third one is
to have all the Norwegians kindly in the other corner. I request to speak to you.
And West
Center. No, just
and the concept of center-based learning. We have seen the nursery schools that are good, but they have a weakness of overly academic. So children are pumped with academic things and they become robots. Then home-based centers are very good that they teach morals, they teach physical aspects, but cognitively they're deficient.
The project aims to support 16 centers in 4 districts in Uganda, 8 in 2 districts in Kenya, and 8 in 2 districts in Zimbabwe.
Project Office Success International Uganda, and I'm coordinating the iHELP project, inclusive home-based early learning project, and it's implemented in the 4 districts, that is Buyikwe, Kalaki, Kalungu, and Kaliro.
The project is being implemented in Kenya, Kakamega County in 3 wards, Idaho East, Idaho South, and Idaho Central.
We have established, let's say, 3, 2 we are fully running, 1 which is about to start, which is starting, in that the 4th one which is about to start. And we were going to have in this phase 8 centers.
It is built around homes volunteered by their owners with an agreement from other community members. Such homes are within the reach of children in marginalized communities to eliminate transport and safety concerns.
We utilize the 5-day model, where there are 2 days for the teacher and 2 days for the parents and the 5th day for play. And for the 2 days for the parents, they are teaching the children on social emotional development. There is, the children are learning on how to be a good citizen, how to be a good community member, how to be a good person in the community.
Ese chikopo choveyo amala kwoza chichenga avayo
the 2 days for the teachers, they are teaching the children peoples on numerous and literacy, those coping skills that are important on the intellectual development of the children. The 5th day for play, but they ordinarily engage in play in almost all days. But this day is set for play only, and this helps actually those children with disabilities who may not be able to participate fully or at the same level with all when it comes to numerous, when it comes to craft work, when it comes to literacy. But when it comes to play, every child can still engage in play. So it's play that is actually facilitated by the teacher or anybody who is supervising the pupils there. Because if they are left on their own, sometimes some of the pupils who have not gained actually the proper skills on the social emotional development may end up injuring their colleagues. So there has to be somebody who actually is overseeing or sometimes even helping them on so that they may not just spend the whole day doing the same thing. They have to engage in many things that may help them both actually social, emotional, and even physically. So basically that's the 5-day model where we are the children are being taken through the different routines.
Now we have what a cohort of people who now can work together amicably.
Children benefit a lot when they are engaged in quality ECD services. These include high social skills, improved literacy and numeracy skills, better adjustment to school, better physical development, and early identification of talents. The problem arises from the fact that not all children are able to access high-quality ECD services, as only 22% access in Uganda, 61% in Kenya, and 21.6% in Zimbabwe. The situation is worse for children in marginalized communities that have limited access to commercialized early learning services. Even more bleak for children with special needs who are in rural and marginalized communities. These poor communities cannot afford high costs of providing early childhood education services. They don't have teachers to take care of the children, and there is generally low attitudes towards the investment in early childhood education. The children actually benefit a lot from early learning, and they have the opportunity to get out of the poverty cycle if they participate in it. iHELP was introduced. The project was pioneered by Kyambogo University, Uganda, in collaboration with Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology in Kenya and the University of Zimbabwe.
Inclusive home-based learning project, iHELP is an implementation research that has three broad objectives. The first one is knowledge exchange and sharing. The second one is capacity building of parents and other stakeholders to support it. The third one is system strengthening at the local and national levels.
iHELP is an inclusive home-based early learning project. It is scaling up the Labe home-based model that is being implemented in northern and western regions of Uganda.
iHELP integrates inclusive aspects, home-based care components, and also the play component in it.
Our conceptualization puts together two different concepts. The concept of home-based and the concept of center-based learning. We have seen the nursery schools that are good, but they have a weakness of overly academic. So children are pumped with academic things and they become robots. Then home-based centers are very good that they teach morals, they teach physical aspects, but cognitively they're deficient.
The project aims to support 16 centers in 4 districts in Uganda, 8 in 2 districts in Kenya, and 8 in 2 districts in Zimbabwe.
Project Officer, CES International Uganda, and I'm coordinating the iHELP project, inclusive home-based early learning project, and it's implemented in the 4 districts, that is Buyikwe, Kalaki, Kalungu, and Kaliro.
The project is being implemented in Kenya, Kakamega County in 3 wards, Idaho East, Idaho South, and Idaho Central.
We have established, let's say, 2 we are fully running, 1 which is about to start, which is starting, and the 4th one which is about to start. And we are going to have in this phase 8 centers.
It is built around homes volunteered by their owners with an agreement from other community members. Such homes are within the reach of children in marginalized communities to eliminate transport and safety concerns.
utilize the 5-day model, where there are 2 days for the teacher and 2 days for the parents and the 5th day for play. And for the 2 days for the parents, they are teaching the children on social emotional development. There is, the children are learning on how to be a good citizen, how to be a good community member, how to be a good person in the community.
Yoza chikopa choveyo amala kwoza chichenga avayo
For the 2 days for the teacher, they are teaching the children peoples on humanness and literacy, those coping skills that are important on the intellectual development of the children. day for play, but they ordinarily engage in play in almost all days. But this day is set for play only, and this helps actually those children with disabilities who may not be able to participate fully or at the same level with all when it comes to numerous, when it comes to craft work, when it comes to literacy. But when it comes to play, every child can still engage with play. So it's play that is actually facilitated by the teacher or anybody who is supervising the pupils there. Because if they are left on their own, sometimes some of the pupils who have not gained actually the proper skills on the social emotional development may end up injuring their colleagues. So there has to be somebody who is overseeing or sometimes even helping them on so that they may not just spend the whole day doing the same thing. They have to engage in many things that may help them both actually social emotional and even physically. So basically that's the 5-day model where we are the children are being taken through the different routines.
Now we have what a cohort of people who now can work together amicably.
Children benefit a lot when they are engaged in quality ECD services. These include high social skills, improved literacy and numeracy skills, better adjustment to school, better physical development, and early identification of talents. The problem arises from the fact that not all children are able to access high-quality ECD services, as only 22% access in Uganda, 61% in Kenya, and 21.6% in Zimbabwe. The situation is worse for children in marginalized communities that have limited access to commercialized early learning services. It's even more bleak for children with special needs who are in rural and marginalized communities. These poor communities cannot afford high costs of providing early childhood education services. They don't have teachers to take care of the children, and there is generally low attitudes towards the investment in early childhood education. Children actually benefit a lot from early learning, and they have the opportunity to get out of the poverty cycle if they participate in it. iHELP was introduced. The project was pioneered by Kyambogo University, Uganda, in collaboration with Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology in Kenya and the University of Zimbabwe.
Inclusive home-based early learning project, iHELP is an implementation research that has 3 broad objectives. The first one is knowledge exchange and sharing. The second one is capacity building of parents and other stakeholders to support it. The third one is system strengthening at the local and national levels.
iHELP is an inclusive home-based early learning project. It is scaling up the Labe home-based model that is being implemented in northern and western regions of Uganda.
iHELP integrates inclusive aspects, home-based care components, and also the play component in it.
Our conceptualization puts together 2 different concepts. The concept of home-based and the concept of center-based learning. We have seen the nursery schools that are good, but they have a weakness of overly academic. So children are pumped with academic things and they become robots Then home-based centers are very good that they teach morals, they teach physical aspects, but cognitively they're deficient.
The project aims to support 16 centers in 4 districts in Uganda, 8 in 2 districts in Kenya, and 8 in 2 districts in Zimbabwe.
Project Office Access International Uganda, and I'm coordinating the iHELP project, inclusive home-based early learning project, and it's implemented in the 4 districts, that is Buyikwe, Kalaki, Kalongo, and Kaliro.
The project is being implemented in Kenya, Kakamega County in 3 wards, Idaho East, Idaho South, and Idaho Central.
We have established, let's say, 3, 2 which are fully running, 1 which is about to start, which is starting, and the 4th one which is about to start. And we were going to have in this phase 8 centers.
It is built around homes volunteered by their owners with an agreement from other community members. Such homes are within the reach of children in marginalized communities to eliminate transport and safety concerns.
We utilize the 5-day model, where there are 2 days for the teacher and 2 days for the parents and the 5th day for play. And for the 2 days for the parents, they are teaching the children on social emotional development. There is, the children are learning on how to be a good citizen, how to be a good community member, how to be a good person in the community.
Yoza ekikopo ky'oveeyo amala okwoza ekitye ng'avaayo
for the 2 days for the teacher, they are teaching the children peoples on numerous and literacy, those coping skills that are important on the intellectual development of the children. The 5th day for play, but they ordinarily engage in play in almost all days. But this day is set for play only, and this helps actually those children with disabilities who may not be able to participate fully or at the same level with all when it comes to numerous, when it comes to craft work, when it comes to literacy. But when it comes to play, every child can still engage in play. So it's play that is actually facilitated by the teacher or anybody who is supervising the pupils there. Because if they are left on their own, sometimes some of the pupils who have not gained actually the proper skills on the social emotional development may end up injuring their colleagues. So there has to be somebody who is overseeing the same thing, to engage in many things that may help them both actually social emotional and even physically. So basically that's the 5-day model where the children are being taken through the different routines.
Now we have what a cohort of people who now can work together amicably.
children, we have many things in our classroom. You see them, we have the blocks, we have the... we have the sun. We have many things in our class. We have many things in our class. We have many things in our class. Now, we are going to play with those things. We are going to play with those and we make good things. We make good things. Now, for you, what do you want to play with? You want to play with what? No, I want the things you're going to play with. Which things do you want to play with? Numbers. How about you, children? Blocks. How about you? How about you? How about you? Okay. Now, all of you, you go to where you want to play from. If you want the blocks, if you want the bottle tops, you just go there and you play with those things. Have you had? Yes. You make nice things. Eh? Okay. Now you go to where you want to play from. You play from where you want to play from. Play with your friends. Yeah. You play with your friends. You play, get enough space to play. Get enough space, get space, get space. Get enough space to play. What are you doing? Yeah? You're doing what? Yeah. This is our house. Yeah. What is this now? This one here. What is this? Blocks. Which shape is this one? Which shape is this one? Rectangle. Which shape is this one? Now continue building your house. Joseph, what is that you're doing? A cake. Wow, it's a nice cake. It's a nice. Which color is this one? Yellow. Do you love yellow color? It's a cake. Wow. Which color is that? Which color is this? This one. Which color is this? Yeah? Color? Which color is this? This one. Which color is this? You know. You tell her. This is color white. This is color. Now you can continue doing your cake. Give me 5. Good. Yeah? Mat. This is a mat. Oh, this is good. It's a good mat. It's a good. What are these ones? They are bottle tops inside. You're good. Yeah? What are you doing? Letters? Okay, which sound is these are sounds. Which sound is this one? Sound? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, give me 5. Sound? I'm seeing something here. What is this? Number 10. Okay, number. Okay, can you clap for me 10 times? Good. Essential. What is that? What is this one? Yeah? Sorry. They are shapes. Okay. Now, these are shapes. Which shape is this one? Yeah? Okay. Now, what are you doing with the sun? You're putting in the shapes. Okay. Like. Good. What are you doing, my friend? Who is this one you're carrying? Is she okay? Eh? She's okay. What is that you're giving her? The what? You're giving her the medicine. Is she sick? Is she sick? Yeah? Is she sick? Okay. So now after giving her medicine, the medicine, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? They're just carrying her. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. You carry her if she's sick. Okay. Thank you. Carry on. What is this up here? You put circles on what? What do you say that this is a house? This is a train. Okay, now you put circles on the train. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Nakawala. Nakawala. What is that? A house. What are those red things up? For the baby. A house for the baby. Wow, good. Good. My friend, what is that you're doing? Eh? You're playing with these ones. Eh, what are they? What are these ones? This one, what is this? It's apple. How about this one? Okay, thank you. You continue playing. Anna, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah? Anna. Wow, good. Give me 5. You're good. Sit. Yeah, what did you make? You made a cake. You're good. Give me 5. Sean, what did you make? You made the sun. Okay, thank you. Give me 5. What did you make? You made numbers. Okay, give me 5.
Can I have Edwin here? You have some presentation. Edwin.
Tena uzikumbuke ahadi zile ulizonigea, mapenzi vita wendo gadi, baby utanitetea, usiruhusu wadangaji wakaanza kukuzoea, unawajua mafisadi watapata cha kunisemea, akili tazunguka zunguka 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 itazunguka iniacha mwenzako, maana nitaumbuka umbuka 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 nitaumbuka yote kwa ajili yako. Kwe 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 nitalia, kwe kwe kiniachilia, kwe 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 nitalia, kwe somo unavyonipatia. Oh my God, oh, I'm crazy for you. 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 Rakata rakata rakata, rekete rekete rekete, rikiti rikiti rikiti, rukutu rukutu, rakata rakata rakata, rekete rekete rekete, rikiti rikiti rikiti, rukutu rukutu.
Thank you so much. I didn't know people can dance. But now there are people who have dodged the sessions all through. No dancing, no what. Hey. I don't know. Maybe as we look for the presentation, is it already available or? Okay, it's there. Because Kalaki, Kaliro, Buyikwe, Kalungu, you have missed these things, you haven't danced. Even the Norwegian team, I've not seen you shake here. Zimbabwe yesterday did. At least we also want to see you. The Kenyan team, imagine they came late, but they are dominating these good sessions. Hey, that was unique of you. So now maybe other teams also, we shall be waiting to hear from you. Are you done? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Now maybe we are going to listen from Joan Nawire from Kenya. Nawire sounds our name, but she said, yeah, she's our sister in blood. So she's from Kenya, Masinde University, and we are eagerly waiting to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, all. My name is Joan Nawire, as you've heard. Probably I am half Ugandan, but I will find out from my friends, Miria and the rest. Thank you so much for inviting us. My appreciation goes to Professor Godfrey Eju, Dr. Samson, and Dr. Rose Opio for getting all of us here together. I'm going to talk about something that is already like we have talked about it so many times, but because we are dealing with babies, you can never run away from such of these things. So I'll talk about play-based learning. Then there is something simulation, like what we have done. We do that with our kids sometimes. When they hear songs that they love and they can stretch their limbs, do that. Simulation, you make sure they get some physical activity taking place in their bodies. And then I shall look at some safety and security measures that we have put in our various centers. So play and learning. When we teach adults, it's easy. Go to a room like right now, I'm teaching, talking, etc. I was making jokes with Samson that a teacher is different from a lecturer, because a lecturer is someone who talks alone, but a teacher interacts with people. So with babies or children that we have in our centers, you don't just teach them something without including some sort of play within the content that you're presenting. If, for example, you want to teach them the importance of eating a banana, you don't just tell them, you're supposed to eat bananas. Make it some fun, make it to be like a game for them to get that concept that eating is important and eating a banana is also very important. And therefore, at the core of every business of meaningful learning for our children is play. We don't just give them content the way we give adults. We make sure there is games and a lot of fun for them to understand. Children use a lot of cues for learning that they find in play. Okay? What a child sees as learning is sometimes when an adult is present. When they see an adult, they see some sort of seriousness. Then they think it is time to learn. But what if we allow them to learn without the adult being present? Is it possible? Yes, if we include play in it. If the activity occurs on the table, they know it is serious. Even some of us in our homes, we like giving children food on the table. And then you are forcing them to eat beans and they want to eat maize only. There's a mixture of maize and beans that we eat in Kenya called githeri. So this child wants to eat maize only, but you're forcing them to eat beans and you put the food on the table. They will not be happy about it. Why don't you make it fun? Ask them, for example, you want them to learn. Ask them, count 1 to 5 of the maize you are eating and please add 1 to 5 of beans. They will eat the food that you're giving them. And then if children are depicted to be concentrating rather than having fun, they tend to feel, I will use a term, they tend to feel suffocated when you force them to concentrate on one thing for a very long time. We have been patient. Even like yesterday, I discovered after 4, 5, we were still sitting. Imagine if this child, 1 year to 5 years, you've sat them down for over 20 minutes talking about the same thing. Do you think they'll be listening to you? I doubt they would. So to a child, what is play? When there are no adults, we are children. Even as adults, when we are where we are comfortable, we are adults. You've discovered that my team, we play, and that's how we do it with our kids. When you are not there, our children will do things and you'll be like, this is not my child. So sometimes when we are with our children, do what they do. If they are dancing, dance. If they are jumping, jump with them. Then they will be learning that I should be jumping higher than mommy or daddy because mommy knows how to jump. Okay? Then flow activities. Don't put everything to be so formal. Allow them to play outside, eat outside, on the floor. We shall wash their clothes if the clothes become dirty. Outdoor activities, we have games both inside and outside. But for children, sometimes they would rather be outside. Sometimes when the weather is not allowing, we tell them to come inside and have something that makes them enjoy being inside the centers. We cannot have them always outside. We cannot have them always inside, but they can have something both inside and outside. But above all, make play, learning, fun and enjoyable. Make everything that we give our learners fun and enjoyable. There are 2 forms of play that come out when you're dealing with kids. There are those free play that the children are directing themselves. Then there are those guided play. From my limited observation that I've done, I'm still conducting that research, I've discovered that child-initiated plays are the best. They will go with it for over 5-6 minutes. But if I am the one saying, no, you come, let us play this game, after 1 minute, they have switched off. They want something else. So we should allow them as much as possible to have child-initiated free play. Let them choose what they want to play with some sort of guidance. That way, they learn so much. So if you're teaching them about alphabets, A, B, and you start a song and someone says, A, B, C, D, is... No, not that one. Can we just start like A, Ba? Follow it with them. They will learn. They are playing and they are learning. If they are to follow each other, like I'll show you in some pictures, let them do it. Do not be, as a teacher, the one dictating. To me, that will be dictation if the children are the ones not choosing what to play. So why should we use play? Because a child is stimulated to explore and learn. Then they gain mastery over their environment. If they are supposed to choose who to play with, where to play, they are able to know which places are safe, because if they go where there is, for example, too much grass, they are not seeing each other. So they move where there is not too much grass. I'm not saying we leave grass in our compounds, but that is just an example. Then it promotes focus and concentration for them. And before I forget, we are talking about inclusivity. So at any particular time, as a parent in the center, as a teacher in that center, as a caregiver in that center, do not leave out our children who are able differently. Ensure there is something they can do. If we are doing a game of jumping, this one maybe is not able to move the lower limbs. Find something they can do with their hands. We don't want to exclude anybody. Then we play, a child engages in flexible and higher level thinking, skills which are essential for the 21st century. We know most of them, but I only picked these three. Problem solving. If they were building bricks, stacking them up and they fall, how do you solve that? Instead of a child crying, they should be able to, they fell, it's okay, I can pack them up again. Then there is also teamwork, which is not on this slide. There is analyzing. I wanted to move here and it is blocked. Can I move? We are moving as a train. Can we move? They solve that. Then evaluating instances and aspects. If we are playing together as a team, should I be the only one doing everything? Yes, they are 5-year-olds, but they are able to develop these skills when you allow them free play, not guided play. That is our favorite, when we are singing Kwikwi and we move around together and they sing and all that. That is our leader for that day. She was the one leading the kids. That's another one. They like the train thing, and we teach them when they are doing either singing alphabets or counting numbers or even singing the traditional songs. You discovered when our team was singing yesterday, they would either be down or moving in circles. Our children love that, so we give them what they love. Okay? And when we are teaching, we have to make play materials. These materials we make have to be colorful. Children learn better visually. So we have to create colorful learning materials for our children. And this is done by the parents at the centers. They were just trained on what to do and then they create them. And we have things like that. So that when kids come and they see color and all that, they feel good. I would doubt if any one of us would be happy if this room was black and white. We still have that inner child in us, so we still do that. There's also another one, a shape of a fruit. Some of us have never seen a carrot in our villages. So you tell them what a carrot is by using that. I wish I had better pictures, but this is what I had. See how our baby is laughing at the end, holding a picture of the sun. You can't see the sun, but you have been given a picture of a sun. You're so happy, you're like, oh, this is what it looks like. This is a butterfly. You always see it fly, but now you can hold it. That's what we do with our children. Then there is something I talked about when we were talking about simulation, basic motor skills. We have to make sure they are able to exercise their limbs, standing, sitting, walking, running, and jumping. This one again, we do it almost every time. As much as they are playing, they are also simulating their physical skills. That is our able PI trying to tell our children to move their limbs. And you know she got some moves also. So when they see her doing that and as tall as she is, they enjoy. And that is our physical education expert. She comes once in a while in our centers and tries to assess whether the limbs of our children, upper, lower limbs, etc. are moving well. Whether if she calls a child Lynette, they hear. So we do that also at our centers. Then our parents, we give them training on how to take care of their children, simulations and safety measures. We train them on various aspects, but this one particular one was for us, especially the parents with special needs kids. They had to know how to stimulate the children with their various disabilities. These children, we leave them sometimes without taking care of their physical needs, and that is also not a good thing. Then safety. Building a safe and friendly environment for children cannot be overemphasized. We are having our children in the centers. How safe are they? A colleague of ours yesterday presented about safety, and I know I cannot just go again and repeat what she said. But some of the things we need to take care of, parents, caregivers, and the center managers. The food our children eat, do you ensure it is safe? Is there cross-contamination which leads to food poisoning? We know we might be talking about safety about the building. What about the food we eat? What about the seats or the chairs or the floor we sit on? Is that floor well molded if it is not solid like this one? Will our children go sit there and then there are jiggers coming from the ground? Okay? Then we look at diseases, ensure they are not there. Injuries to children that happen. Children will always get injuries when they are playing. How do you take care of that? Do we have someone trained to make sure that if they get a cut when they are playing, they are able to solve that particular problem at that time without creating pandemonium? Children are such that if one starts wailing, the whole hall is wailing. Then we have accidents can happen. Environment should be clean and conducive for both the parents, caregivers, and our children, and even the friends to these children. When we are putting all the children together, have we taught them the safety of the mind of this special need child when they reject playing with this child? I'm looking at it from that angle. This child is sitting alone. How safe is this child when the others are playing? Okay? And this to me, it might look absurd, but if someone is shown love, they feel safe, right? So our PI and us, when we go to centers, we try to make sure that our children feel the love from us, from the peers and etc. Because someone who feels safe, they feel loved, they feel protected, then they are able to be free and participate in activities in the center. So Dr. Pio loves kids, so he was trying to make that baby feel comfortable. You can see she was a bit scared, but after a while she was okay. After other safety measures that we were told yesterday, you can see that is part of our center. It is fenced all around because we don't want our children to move out of the compound. Forget the people in the forefront. Look at behind them, we have a gate. Okay, but you saw my colleague there yesterday, Doreen, she was there. So we have a gate for most of our centers. I could not just take all the pictures, but this is one of our centers in Central. We have a gate for them. Please note the road. We have a very busy highway on that center. So even if our centers are not next to the road, we need a gate and a fence to make sure our children are within an enclosure that they can be controlled. However, even the gates should have someone watching over them, because if you don't close it, our children will leave out and go. Additional safety measures, there is a login and log out in all our centers for our children so that we know which child came at what time, and we know at what time our child was released back to their parents. Then the windows and doors should open from outside. When there is something that happens to the kids, they would like to run as a group. I'd rather the door opens from outside and they run than if they come, it comes inside, it will hurt our children. Then the compound should not have tall grass. That one is without saying. If it has tall grass, the kids do not play well. There will be so many, maybe, bad things that might happen. Thank you all with lots of love.
Thank you so much, Joanne from Kenya. Let's clap for her once again. You know, last time, Professor was telling you that it is not easy to come and stand here. You can even see a punishment if we simply choose that one to show up here. We appreciate and we keep looking forward to learning from you. Endlessly, we thank you, and we shall proceed to another presentation. There is a group of Miriam Nandera, Martin Omoding, Mbogo, Kenneth, Katunji Juma. I think this team also is supposed to exhibit something today before we join in for lunch. Maybe announcement, people coming in to ask about the shirts, that yours was small, bring back what was small, and I want to insist, let us be so diplomatic without integrity. There is no center that received abnormal shirts above 17. So you cannot tell me that 19 people missed, yet we gave you 9. That is impossible, and you are 17. Mathematically, it is impossible. But Kalaki, I don't know whether you received the communication, that Kalaki people whose bodies are small, like mine, can access the other lady shirts that are there and make use of them because they belong to you. Madam Miria, Martin and Juma, you are ready? Johnson, I know you are in the kitchen with Michael, but you should think about some good song that all Ugandans can dance on well. Maybe later think about a song that is East African, then later a song that is international. Because now, like you see Martin, he has a lot of strokes inside the body. You haven't utilized his talent, and that's unfair. Anyway, use that microphone, please. This is a team of 4, I think, including me now. And we are meant to do something on a play there. And I will request to hand over the microphone to one of them.
Thank you very much. Good morning, afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. We hope you're well. Are you okay? You're very okay. That's very good. So we are going to do some presentation around how to organize a play day, and the thoughts are around having the teachers, to have a teacher and a child in the classroom where they facilitate a play activity using a more or less child-to-child centered approach, where the child facilitates other children with support of the teacher. So I'm going to invite the children from the different centers, Kalaki, Kadido, Buyikwe, to come in front so that we can start our session. Thank you. We are going to do something very practical. Of course, we can do some reflection after, but let's start with the practical bit of it. Martin, you want to
Mr.
give us a song?
Katunji, we need you here. As long as you are presenting, make sure you look at this lane for us to see you clearly.
I look at you.
Just say.
Okay. Thank you. So, my colleagues can as well be here.
They are actual titles. These are doctors, but we disregard titles in this. We only want to call one person professor. Others are. We just want to be called our names. This is Katunji, Nandera, Omoding. Yes. So where are the children?
The children, please come.
So these are the children
from Kalaki, from Buyikwe.
How I wish they are gifts to people who have
Let's
been
get a
so
song from Martin. Maybe the song can bring them in a better way.
Yeah, we have got our leader here. Please, can you lead the song?
Abato.
Flowers.
All right. Who can lead this? Okay.
Don't we first know the yellow ones, the green ones, the yes. I believe you have seen our materials. Some of them I told you to bring them from class, and where are yours? Please go and bring. If you have left them in class, go and bring. We have very many. Bring all the materials. You remember our play day? What happened? Bring them. No. Please, first don't use those materials first. I've told you just put them there. Don't do anything. First put them there until you get the instructions. Now, we've got, can you tell me the different materials that we have? Yes. System. We've got ropes. Only one rope? Joy. No, that's not how we do it, okay? We've got only one rope. How many? So we've got, can you first put the ropes aside? One person, the team leader. Sister, do that. Put the ropes aside. Okay. Maureen, get other materials and put them also aside. Last time when we played with these materials, what did we do? Okay, put those ones aside there. All those others. We had our boxes. I'm only seeing one. Where? Okay, what we are going to do, let's form 4 groups. 4 groups. 4 groups, one group go that side, and you see, girls, you're isolating yourselves from boys. Why? Yes, good. Good girl. Now, you've left Joseph alone. Leave. Let Joseph, you've got already James there. Let Joseph go there. Are those the 4 groups? I'm thinking maybe we go with the 3 groups. Yeah, okay. Let's have the 3 groups. In the 3 groups, we have got Teacher Juma, we have got Teacher Miria, and you've got me. So, as we after getting the instructions, we are going into the different groups, and we shall be having our teachers there. Remember, always, like when we go for display activities, we always follow the instructions. Yeah? You first get instructions, then you go and play. Okay? It is always good to play after getting what? The instructions. Okay. Now, group 1. You are here, you're going to first get ropes there. And with the ropes, you know, we are going to play different activities of your choice. But remember, cooperation is one of the things we should emphasize. I don't want to see people fighting. Group 3, where are you? And this group is going to be led by, that group is going to be led by me. This group is going to be led by Juma. So, group 2, for you, I'm seeing only boxes. And I'd sent you for a lot of materials. Where are they? A ball. Okay. So, you also have your ball there and the boxes. You know how I want to see the creativity in you on how you're going to use those materials, okay? Then group 3, led by Teacher Miriam. Where is your teacher? Do you know her? Oh, good. So, we have got, for you, you have a variety of materials. They are different. Can you tell me the materials that are there? Yes, Jen. Okay, good. What do you use umbrella for? No, we shall sing that song later. So I want you only to demonstrate for me how you open an umbrella. You have even a song for it. Very good. So can you sing and we hear whether others... Good. Can you clap for her? Good. So you also have these materials, and please use them the way you want, but don't do what? Don't fight and don't destroy. So I give the chance now to the team leaders, the teachers, to pick the team leaders again in the very groups so that the children can begin playing their different activities. So let's do that. So who is our team leader here? You are the one. Sister, you are the one. Okay, so we have got our materials here. I want to see how in the different ways you're going to use these materials. Okay. And you remember, how many are you?
3, 4.
Okay. Two, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
In a different way apart from counting 1 to 5. She has a song.
Benita, Benita, wekyuse. Benita, Benita, kwata kutaka. Benita, Benita, buza mama.
Aya. Benita.
Benita, Benita, kutaka. Benita, Benita, buza bagenyi. Benita, Benita, buza bakao. Benita, Benita, nnya ttaano mukaaga musanvu munaana mwenda kkumi. They're going to sing Wampologoma bwe yalinga yeebase while jumping again.
Now, team leader, excuse me, first wait. Did you see when Joy was counting here and jumping? What did you learn? What have you learned? What have you learned as she was skipping?
I've learned about to count the number.
Okay. Counting, what else?
Also, I have learned that we can manage to skip the rope when we are jumping at the same time singing, learning how to jump in different corners, and learning how to jump as we squat down and stand.
Okay, good. She jumped alone. Maybe, can we get another person also? And we see whether you've really, as you've said. Can you do that? Can we get also another person? Do as she did?
Benita, Benita, wekyuse. Benita, Benita, kwata kutaka. Benita, Benita, buza mama o. Benita, Benita, buza.
Joy, what are you going to do to help your friends master that? What are you going to do?
Repeat.
Next time, want to go to another activity. What are you going to do? Yes. Okay, let's go to another activity now. You said she can do it in another way? Yes. Okay.
Twejjao 1 2 1 2 tukube misinde 1 2 1 2 nga basirikale betuli bana bato twajja kuyiga ebigambo by'eddiini nga tubikwata. Musajja mugowa simbule kizibu yawo 1 2 1 2 tukube misinde 1 2 1 2 nga basirikale ffe tuli bana bato twajja kuyiga ebigambo by'eddiini nga tubikwata. 1 2 1 2 tukube misinde 1 2 1 2 nga basirikale ffe tuli bana bato twajja kuyiga
ebigambo by'eddiini nga tubikwata nabbubi yazimba ku muti omuwanvu enkuba yatonnya nabbubi yagwa tuzza kulamusa Ssaabasajja Kabaka Emmengo mu Kampala kumpi ne Nakivubo emmotoka zisimbye layini byazo sajja mugowa simbula ekiziiza bezu bezu nga twejjawo 1 2 1 2 tukube emisinde 1 2 1 2 nga basirikale baana bato twajja kuyiga ebigambo by'eddiini nga tubikwata.
Good children. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Good children. Good teacher. Okay. Where is Dorothy? Can you still lead us with a song and then we make a circle? Dorothy? Huh? Dorothy is still. All fast now. Hey, another one. Okay.
Inside, outside, and we jump outside. Inside, and we jump inside. And we jump outside. And we jump outside.
Good. Can you clap for yourselves? Children, last time I taught you how to clap. We are going to give ourselves 4 kilos. Do you know how they clap 4 kilos? Okay. You've all forgotten. Oh.
People can be able to hear what we are going through. So I want each one of you to talk about what you've learned from the activity we have had. We have been playing different games and we've been playing with different friends. So what have you learned? So I will get each one of you by show of hand and then you can tell us what you've learned from the activities you've had. Who comes first?
Thank you, Teacher Juma. With me, I've learned counting from 1 to 5. Can I count for you, teacher? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you very much. She has learned from the activity that she can count from 1 up to 5. Who else has learned something new from the activity? Very many hands. Okay.
Hello, teacher. Today I learned to associate. I didn't know that out to disability. I thought they were going to chase me away, but I was in a group with them. I've got friends. I'm now very happy.
So we have a disabled child in one of the groups, and she was able to play with the others very well, and they were able to appreciate and include her in the game they were playing. Anything from any other person?
Thank you, Mr. Jum. I have learned to jump making letter T. May I do it? Let me start.
Thank you very much. So she has learned that you could create letters by jumping into the different directions that make the letter formation. Thank you very much. I know you have all learned so many things. I'm going to have 2 more people to tell us, and then you can also share with the teachers what they have learned. So I have not had a boy. I have only had girls tell me what they have learned. Can I have a boy share with us? No, the boys are in the class. They are here. The girls can clap for themselves. Yes. Let's have the boys. Let the boys clap for the girls now first. Boys, clap for the girls. Okay, I want to hear what the boys have learned. Who can tell us what they have learned? Boys. Boys, you can tell us in local language. You can also tell us what have you learned.
Teacher, I learned how to make letter S, and I know how to write in jumping.
Jump letter S and we say. Good. You can see the boys have also learned so many things. So now, in the interest of time, I'm going to give teachers also to make reflections on what they have seen you do and what they think you have learned from those lessons, okay? So I'll start with Teacher Mary and then Teacher Martin, and then I'll also say last. Thank you.
Hello, children. Hello, children. How are you? Did you enjoy the day? Serious? What did you enjoy? Very good. Wow! All of them who supported Angela? All of you? That is very good. Clap for yourselves. Very good. Who? Should I say it? What did I want to say? Wow. Did you have leaders in your groups? How many groups did we have? Yes. You have 4. Wow. She said we had 4. She's right. Yeah. Who else? You had 3 groups. What did you do in those groups? You played. Was the play good? Everybody enjoyed it? Is there nobody who had problems? All of you, you were very okay. That is very good. All right. That's very good.
Now, can you continue playing? You're free, you can play. You can still, this is a play day. Today, which day is today? What do we do on Wednesday? Children, you're free to go and play. You can play. Now, my colleagues, now it's time for my colleagues to reflect on these children. We are now doing assessment. We are now doing assessment as they are still playing, but each group is having a leader to continue. But as we do assessment, we are also monitoring them. So in your group, how did you find, what was the progress?
Well, in my group, we're using ropes, and they played different activities using ropes, and the skills they got, one of them was actually on counting, jumping, and those other skills as well. So I feel play day is generally very good because they were able to help even those who were difficult.
Hello, children. Hello, children. Hello, children. Hello, children. Hey, hey. Children. Hello, children. Everybody, hello, children. Please stay playing. Let's come together first. I think, aren't you tired? You still want to play? Now I want you to play in groups. Make your groups. Then how many groups should we have? 3. I want to get, you choose your leaders. Who can be the first leader? This one, come here. Another one. I want the leaders here. Okay, you come. You want to be a leader? You want to be a leader. Now we have our 3 leaders. We don't have a boy. We should get also a boy leader. Okay. Now these are leaders. You give them, make some space there. Leaders make a line. Like this. Now, you can come and join any leader of your choice, the one you want. Join one of them. Line behind, line, make a line, let the leader be in front. Make a line with the leader in front. Oh, the boy doesn't have... No, some of you should come here, please. Okay. Now, leaders, you're going to be teachers today. You're going to play, but you make sure your friends play within that area, because, and you don't disturb each other. Don't disturb others. You children also don't disturb your teachers. You go and sit and do your plays. For us teachers, we are going to be here, but we shall be seeing what you're doing. So the leaders, you're the teachers there. Okay. So you make sure everybody is behaving well. Is it okay? Okay. Now you can go. The space is there. You can go. Hey, there. In the chairs there. You can go. Yes. That's good. I'll call you when I blow the whistle. You all come back. Is it okay? All right.
Five minutes to finish.
Yeah. Yes, colleague. Well done for the day. How are the children? How was the play there?
The children are so good, so interactive.
Wow.
Yeah, and they love what they are doing.
That's good.
Yes.
How was your group? How was your group, teacher Kenneth?
Yeah. But I loved it so much when every child has a choice on which game to play, and also the passion they do things with. But even the teachers are very good, because teachers were guiding children on what to do, but also making sure no one hurts the other, either emotionally, psychologically, or in any way. The teachers had very good mentorship or monitoring of the games. Thanks.
Okay. Teacher Martin, what did you find out?
All the activities went on well, except that this time we had a few materials. Maybe it is because the term has just started. So I encourage maybe we make more materials and let's make together with them, because if we make with them, they will not destroy them. If we make them ourselves, they will now destroy and say, after all, it is for teacher. So I suggest we get a day and make materials together with them.
Teacher Juma, how was your group?
Thank you very much. My group was nice and they had a prayer activity. What I did is I stood aside to observe what they were doing, and these are some of the things I noted down from the prayer activity. At the beginning, the children negotiated. They were talking through to agree on which game to play. I didn't intervene. I allowed them to choose which game they would play, and they had to negotiate. They had two different games, and they talked and they agreed to start with one game. I thought that was very good. They were learning how to negotiate and to respect each other's opinion. Then I saw that I had selected a group leader, but they changed the leader when they reached here. Another person became a leader. So they know how to choose their own leaders and they make their own choices. So they didn't take the leader I'd given them, but they rather had another person who became the leader of the group. So I also saw that they were planning and organizing the space and saying, oh, this is a small space, we are going to play this, let us push this one this way. So I observed that the children are able to talk through by themselves and they plan the way they are going to use the space where they are going to play. The other observation I made is that they were using the things around them. Whereas we found these chairs here, they were hiding behind the chairs and they were able to use all the things that are in the space where we are studying from. I also learned that they had two games, but some of them didn't know the games, but they were able to learn from the other. It was try and error, but they were able to learn from the others. So they are able to learn from each other the games they are playing in the classroom. I also observed that they had different activities. Whereas we had a plan for one activity of the ball, they used the ball for different things. So they had different activities and they switched the activity at their own interval. Me, I was there to observe ideas that they reached a time, they said, okay, now let's play this. So I think that allows them to control learning and to own the learning space and enjoy what they are doing. Thank you very much. Those are some of the key things I observed during my class, and I can hand over back to you.
Thank you, teachers. But in my group, I observed this one particular child. Can you sit? Listen now. You can stop. You're now participants. Listen to what we are doing, especially on assessment. We're on the assessment session. This is what we expect you to be doing. How to assess them in the centers. So we are doing this practically, that you can also see how you can modify what you in to make it better. So this is the assessment section. After children, the teachers in the center you're supposed to sit together and reflect on what has been happening, what you have noticed, and the progress of each child. So we had teachers who are outside, we had started, but we can continue from here. So as each one of the teachers gives what he has observed. So in my group, I think you noted that when they were playing, I had a notebook and I was observing each and every child and seeing what they were doing. And though I was not intervening into their play, because it was their day, it's a play day. So, teachers, in this group, I noticed one particular child. For her, she wasn't very, very, very active like others. She was quiet. The others do things, then she follows later. I thought she could be having some problem, I think, which we can now find out and on individual basis and see. We talk to this child and find out what exactly is wrong with her, and this was none to me. Yeah. So anybody else who observed any other case?
Maybe from the beginning, I loved it that every child was taking on a choice they wanted. However, even after teaming up in different games, you could realize they were working towards one goal. And like we said yesterday, this is not just play, but it is teaching them to work together. Those who are playing hide and seek, they were struggling to make sure their colleague is not seen. They could make sure they tell them to stay there or what. In many cases, these are not just games. So you as a teacher, every time you start this, but make sure in areas where you see that children need guidance, intervene. Intervention from the teacher or educator means you are taking them to the line you want them. More so, even if it is language, there is a time when you prefer local language, but the words being used are heavier. But I'm happy I did not hear any heavy word here. Maybe these were children stroke adults. But you have to keep watching, because there are areas that you need to watch out as children play. For example, character exhibited, the social emotional learning, maybe the discipline, moral uprightness. You observe that when we say let's pray, some children will keep playing. And they're saying let's pray for the meal. Like yesterday, Sister Doctor observed. She was telling me, I was on the phone as they were praying for me. I said, okay, stop. So at times we need such teachers. So also what I love the most is every person doing everything passionately. When children are playing, don't put demarcations of don't go there. Don't go there. But also, like you realized, Mr. Katunji came and chased us away. That you go the other side. Create enough space for play. And this is a challenge in most centers. Maybe because of the limited space, but space determines how lively play can be. I have observed this. I'm sorry to use this example. I observe 2 children whereby one is having enough space to play, but the other is on a rental. In the rental, they have demarcations of don't exceed this box to my side, because when you go there, your mom is supposed to mop the other veranda. Restricted area for play. However, the other child can even go and they play the way they want. But also, the other person on the rentals is always telling the child, don't do this. When you doesn't these clothes, it is meant to wash. So this is another part. Here, children we are playing, but willingly and carefully. Let us not look at how that the children go our intention is them playing when they want, in any way they prefer. Thank you.
Okay. I realize that if the teachers are organized, then everything can move on well. If teachers give instructions to these children, everything will move perfectly. If the materials are there, adequate and enough, then you find that children are able to pick different play materials and also form different other groups. We had like the rope. We had the rope there. But when you look at that rope, the ropes that were there, they were few. But children from nowhere, they tied them and they were now starting to play other activities. Maybe the other thing as teachers that we need to caution is let's have that assessment. In most cases.
Excuse me. Let us first do assessment. You are teachers. You are giving us general information, like you are now wrapping up. You were teaching, you observe the children. Now you are discussing as the teachers in the center for purpose of assessment. So what we want to hear, you tell about, oh, there was so and so, but this was the issue. So that we see how you record in the book for a person to pick up. So don't go to wrap up. That is my work now, not yours. So first do your work as teachers.
Thank you very much. I was observing, of course, like you saw, most of the time I was just looking at my children, and I think it's a good way that we can allow children to play, not to interfere so much. So what we usually do is it's good to leave them and give them space to play. But you as me as a teacher, it is important that I pick interest. So I was picking interest in whatever they were doing. So I followed through the different 2 games they played, and I have already mentioned some of the things I saw, but maybe I could repeat them for those who are outside. I saw from the children that I brought here, I had selected a leader for them. I said, you are the group leader. And then when they went to play, they changed their own leader. So they said, we want this one.
Juma, you are wrapping up the session. I'm saying pick children now. All your discussion, the 4 of you, is on the children. Which child did you observe? What was the issue? What should be the way forward? So the microphone is going to go back to all of you. Not going away from there.
I will pick one child I picked interest in. There is a child when they were throwing the dodgeball who was hit, and she refused to accept that she had been hit by the ball. So I felt that was something I should pick interest in as a teacher. When you lose, you accept loss or you don't accept loss. So I don't know what other teachers have to say about that.
Okay. In this group, as I'd already said it, but I can say what we are supposed to do in assessment as teachers. You observe and see how each child is progressing. So in this case, I'd already done this. I was telling you in my group, I had this child called Nantume. She was not participating fully like others. And she was somehow very quiet as others are talking, dancing. She was not very, very active. And in my observation, I feel she has a problem which we have to find out. And I don't know how we can do it. Maybe we need to first find out from the parent or the caregiver what happens, how is she at home there. That is my suggestion. How about you? How can we help Nantume?
I think maybe it can be individual differences, because even in the beginning, some children weren't willing to play, you remember? Like her, but when she realized it was becoming nice, she came. At times, maybe it can be individual differences or people fearing to open out, most when they come from restricted environments. where people are so strict. But when she realized it was free play, she had to join. I think, where's the other person?
What do we do in Nantume?
Nantume's case, maybe we intervene with the closest friends, or we deal with the parent. Because in most cases, a child does something, but a reflection of the environment they go through.
So in terms of Nantume, who is a bit remorse and does not want to be involved in the play, I would think that maybe the child is okay, he has no problem. Actually, sometimes not to play and not to include yourself in other play is okay for children. They may not want, they may choose not to play that game. So as a teacher, what you have to do is, I would want to observe Nantume on different play activities. When they are doing individual play, when they are doing other games, so that I can see, is she always excluding herself, or sometimes she's active? Because I think play is supposed to be the inner, it is driven inside. You must be excited by the game. If you're not excited by football, you don't watch football. So I would think we need to take time to observe Nantume to see if she can be excited by other games. Maybe we can tell whether she has a problem or she has no problem.
We had a boy called John in my group, and John was like shy. In every activity, he never wanted to involve himself. Even because we had only ropes, and sometimes boys maybe with the ropes, I don't know, or because he was alone, so he was fearing to play with the girls. So I don't know what we can do to him.
Okay, because you have observed them. How about if we try in another game and we mix them? How do you see that strategy? We put him with the other boys and see if he will behave in the same way. How do you see that, teachers?
I think that's very good. Sometimes you have to mix them and put them separate, but also it is important that we encourage gender inclusiveness when we are teaching the children, so that we do not, because gender stereotype is one social problem that we have, and it begins from there. When you start saying this game is for boys, that one is for girls, it has a gender parameter. So I would think that as teachers, we need to encourage them to play. I had a boy in my group who was very excited with the games for girls. So I think that boy might be shy because maybe she has been told those games are for girls. So I think we need to support the boy to appreciate that, okay, we can play together, boys and girls, and we enjoy the play.
You never saw any something very well. You only saw the ones who
we are continuing. Okay. We start with those ones with challenges. I think that is a good strategy, but we need to talk to parents also. We hear from them, because this thing we do together with parents, assessment is done together. Yeah, at home there, what happens? Or when that parent comes to school here, how does the boy behave? Yeah. So how about the excellent child? Did you have any in your group?
Yeah, I had Joy. Joy was actually well versed with almost all the activities, and she was even leading when it came to skipping. She could skip and up, and there was a song. Is it you touch, you turn, and she was able to do all that. So I suggest for certain activities, let's put her as the leader to lead others in those activities, because she was really very good.
How about if we continue putting her as the leader, when shall we develop other skills of leadership? Won't she dominate? We have to think twice how to do it.
Never been a leader. We have never given her that opportunity. So maybe we can also give that opportunity to her and see. But as you are saying, yeah, it is true. We can as well look into that and maybe bring others also to those who don't know that those activities. Like the other boy I told you, it is one way also. Maybe she can now get in touch with that boy, and then also they begin playing, and that boy possibly comes up as Juma is saying, some boys may think that the ropes are only for, but also let's also have some other play materials that are for boys such that we balance. Yeah.
My different, because my intention is in the play to help those who are at extremes improve. So to those who are in the zone of good, I could just thank them for the good work, but there was no reason to capture how very good they are, because I was only focusing on who to improve. But that's me.
Assessment, you need
Thank
to
you.
note all those as well.
Thank you, Teacher Kenneth. But we have to look at all of them. You may find that she's too much. She's a genius, eh? And when it comes, if it's not a play day where she can lead other games in the classroom, how are we going to handle these children? Because if we give them the same activities, this one is ahead of others. So in that case, what I think we have to be planning for other, maybe more difficult, harder games or activities for these children who have identified. That would be my strategy.
Thank you very much. Of course, for play, for me, when I was looking at the children I had in my group, I was interested in skills to do with non-school based competences. So I noted in my group that there was this one child who was good at negotiating with others. Every time when they were starting the game, this child led because I told them, okay, choose what to play. Then some say, let's play this, others this. But there was this one who was very influential and knew how to negotiate. So he was driving the boat wherever he wanted. Even in the changing the first game to the second game, this very child is the one who led the negotiation of changing the game.
Thank you, Teacher Juma. You have talked about the skills. We have to look at the skills. When they were playing, what skills did you notice these children were developing? At least the one most skill which came out very well in your group, Martin.
Oh, thank you. I saw one of the skills was actually the teamwork and the social skill. That came out because like they were actually so cooperative. I didn't see anything like them fighting for the materials, doing what. So that skill is good, teamwork, and then the social skill. Then on the other, before maybe this, I would like also to point out this, that maybe we need also to be changing the roles. For example, these children played in they were in one group, and yet there were three groups. What do you think about that? Should we always be leaving them in one group, or we make them rotate together with their teachers, such that, like for the case of those other boys who were shy and the rest?
Thank you, Martin. I think we have to be careful not to control so much when they are playing. We need to allow them to play and they enjoy. Maybe what we can do is now when we are giving instructions, you allow them to switch games. If they are playing the other side and you think this game is very exciting and you want it, you can join the group, so that we don't put so much control, because when you keep changing them, you might put them where they don't actually like. So I think play is supposed to be motivated from inside. So we need to allow them to pick interest in what they want and they get involved. That's what I think. Thank you. I had to mention one skill that I was particularly very interested in when the children were playing here. They were supposed to play hide and seek, and we were in this very small space. So they used creatively, they were able to use the things in the environment. So I think children can always use all the things in the environment to play, and we need to allow that to happen. So they were able to play and use the spaces around, behind the chairs, everywhere. you are hiding?
Thank you, teachers. I think what we have done, we identified that Nantume could be having a problem, and we have all agreed that we try to give her another chance. Then we also talked to the parent. We talked about John. We are also going to help him to put him in other games, and I think that is our way forward. And what we are going to do now, for each children you have observed today, we have to write their progress report. The skills that have developed today, how they, I'm sure everyone had some 2 or 3 children you are observing critically, and these are the ones we are going to write about their progress. The next week or another time we shall observe different children, and we keep on doing that to ensure that all children are being assessed. Thank you, teachers.
Thank you very much, audience.
Thank you very much. The teachers stayed for the whole day in their meeting and forgot the children. And now maybe, can we clap for these teachers? Remember, on play day, you should have the books with the names of each child, a book, so that the good things you have seen a child do, you write, okay? The things that a child cannot do also, you write. So that at the end of the term, you just go back to that book and use it to write the report. When a parent comes to school, you are sent and ask, how is my child? You just get the book and say, come and see. You see, parent, Nantume. Hey, when it comes to dancing, dances very well. When it comes to this, does this very well. But when it comes to this, that's where the issue is. Let the parent not ask, how is my child? Then you say, your child is trying. What's the child trying? No, we have to get the book. Parents, the parents who are here, where are the parents? Put up your hands. It's good you have put up your hand. You have to buy an exercise book for your child, for the teachers to write the things your child can do and what your child cannot what? Do you get it? Get the book, take to school. Every time you go to school, ask the teachers, where's the book for my child? You understand that? The teachers must what? Keep writing things there. So look at the things that the teacher has written and check whether the child can do it. If the teacher says the child does this very well, you ask the child to also do something like that and cross-check so that we avoid teachers who are going to sit down and just write things. Okay? Parents, get those books. We want that assessment. Are we together? That is continuous assessment for the whole term. When the term ends, they are going to give you one sheet which has just a summary of the things that your child can do and what your child cannot do and suggestion of how to help the child. That is the report. Don't look for marks. The marks don't mean anything. That is very, very important. We have been in Uganda. We started from Kenya. We are now going to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, bring your song. The people have been bringing their songs. Now, why should we sing for you?
Kudzidza tichitamba, 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 kudzidza tichitamba. Vana. Vana. Munozvigona here? Vana. Uyai titambe. So gare. Typical of a child. Samson. Uya. Right, Ivana. We had to get it this, and I want to matiza teacher. Had to get it this. Garapa Solomon, Garap. Had to get it this up. Ayu, Garai Mose. We had it up. Todaku Kudzai. I want to tell Resha to da quit. To ever do say, do tell Resha da quit. Right. Nasi. Dodakuti Samsoni. Newe Solomon. Mono maite zvanodini. Handitauya kuchikoro zotamba. Right. Saka izvozvizvi umwe naumwe wenyu ngaaende kwaanoda kudini kutambira. Handisi kukudza kwekuenda kunotamba, uri kungoenda kunotamba kwauri kudini kwaari kuda. Ndizvo Solomon. Samson ndizvo. Munhu ngaatambe zvaari kuda kutamba. Enda kwauri kuda. Aiwa, ita zvaunoda Samson. Ko Samson uri kutevera wani Solomon. Bring your toys. When is also Samson? Samson chimbogara pasi chimboita zvauri kuda kuita. Ndosi kuda kutamba nditi. Chimboenda kuna Solomon. Yaumbotamba na Samson ka. Enda mbonotamba mese. Mbenda kwaari. Samson. Uyautambe naso. Ai uyaumbotamba na Solomon. Tamba emese. Imboita emese, tamba emese ndione. Tamba ayu. Kana tiri kuchikoro hatirovi vamwe handiti. Aiwa kuchikoro tinouya kuzotamba nevamwe zvakanaka. Tamba emese tione. Ini ndinenge ndichiona zvamuri kuita. Samson. Kuna iyi Samson. Ko kumba kwana Solomon unoregerei kudyako? Kunoita sei? Solomon. Sei usingadi kuti uyadya kumba kwenyu naye Solomon? Samson zvanzi unorova vamwe. Hatidi vanhu vanorova vamwe handiti Samson. Chimboteerera Samson, teerera. Hatidi munhu anouya chikoro kuzorova vamwe handiti. Moteerera. Solomon. Kana iwewo Samson akauya kumba kwenyu handiti. Kana Samson akauya kumba kwenyu. Haumurovi. Aiwa. Haumurovi handiti. Ndizvo ka Solomon. Samson uri kuzvinzwa. Amurovi vamwe handiti. Toda vana vanotamba vese zvakanaka. Iko zvino ndauda kuti titambe tese handiti. Chitamba mese muri toda kuona muchitamba mese. Batanze izvo zveimbotamba mese manje. Tamba mese tone. All right. All right. Good. Yes. Mombe ya Solomon inotamba. Tone zvakaita mombe yako? Chimbopa Solomon yako. Iwo chimbopa Solomon yako. Chimbopa Samson. Handiti chimbopa dzako handiti. Chitamba mese manje. Dzakadaro. Kwanzi ndipo chawaviga. Mupe chawaviga icho chichi. Good. Ndoda vana vanotamba vese zvakanaka handiti. Hatidi vana vanoramba kutamba vese. Ashamwari yako. Good. Yes. Chibata naye maoko. Ashamwari yako. Amuchatukana handiti. Good. Ngatite. Batanai maoko. Tema hu. Batanai maoko. Batanai maoko. Samson ani nzara Solomon une nzara uyu ana kudya kumbo hauna kupuwa mvua. Alright. Sorry Solomon. Saka iwe hauna kudya nenzara. Alright. Chimbotamba bichana nditi. Saka takuita chiamai varona nditi. Saka maneta ka. Right iko zvinoka. Shara. Alright. Mira tauda kuenda uchikafu manje handiti. Right iko zvinoda kuona kuti munozviziva here zvatakakudzidzisa ine zuro handiti. Bata musoro. Umwe wacho. Bata musoro. Umwe wacho. Bata dumbu. Rimwe racho. Bata gumbo. Samson. Bata gumbo. Mabvi here kana uchi gumbo. Gumbo nderipi? Right. Bata musoro. Umwe wacho. Bata ruoko. Rumwe rwacho. Mune maoko manganini? Saka tikati rumwe rwacho hapana handiti. Right. Bata nzeve. Imwe yacho hapana because tine nzeve ngani. Saka yechitiri hapadi. Bata ziso. Rimwe racho. Good. Handiti ka. Right. Zvinoda kuti muchitamba zvamunoda manje. Vachimbitamba zvamunoda zvinoda tiende panze. Twenda hedu kunotambira panze apo pamuri kuda. Tozodaidzwa naMadam Miriya ka. Madam Miriya vachadaidza kuti tizotora chikafu. Tozodya. Saka takuenda hedu panze kuna Madam Miriya handiti votivigira chikafu. Right. Kudzidza tichitamba. We have not finished the proof. We now want to explain to our colleagues what we have been doing. This was Team Zimbabwe, and because we thought we could waste more time if we try to present this like an academic presentation, we just thought we could go over what we've been trying to do. Like we explained yesterday during our discussions, we were saying play is just a pleasure activity. Any activity conducted, whether by a child or an adult, for the sole pleasure that it derives, that which causes the child to have fun. So we are saying our learners, Samson and Solomon, were actually having fun. They were playing, and as you can see, as you could see, play is just spontaneous. When Solomon played with a bottle of water, automatically Samson started playing with the same type of material. And we could hear Solomon and Samson talking about their home experiences. They were talking about what happens at home, and they were telling us what their lived experiences are like. They were actually telling us what their parents do at home. Samson actually reported to the teacher that his parents were fighting last night. And Solomon reported that he did not eat anything last night. And that is very important for the teacher. You don't have to continue to teach. You see, you saw me dismiss the class because I realized that Solomon was hungry and Samson could not concentrate because he was kind of influenced by the violence that he saw or that he sees at home, because he continuously wanted to beat Solomon. So I had to dismiss the class and let them go to see another teacher, whom I referred to as Teacher Miria. And I said, go to Teacher Miria and now have what? Food. That was to cater for Solomon. Solomon was hungry. So each day is different at our inclusive home-based learning centers. You will find the different types of children. And sometimes you have to change the way you want to conduct your play, or the way you want children to play, because of the nature of the children and because of the nature of the experiences, which are always different. On a daily basis, our children bring to school what they experience at home, and they will bring to school what they also want done to them. You heard him say, I want to beat him. You heard him say, I don't want to play with him. So we are also arguing in this project that of emotions. We want our children to be able to express emotions so that by the end of the day, play is therapeutic. It is healing. It causes them to really enjoy life. It causes them to be at the same position. You saw at the end of the day, Solomon and Samson had to shake hands. They had to really be happy about each other, whether they were happy for real or not. But we are saying for that moment, play relieves the pressure that our child has. It becomes an outlet for his or her emotions. And we also want to be cognizant of the different types of play that our children engage in. We may spend the whole day, one child playing alone, from morning up to perhaps midday. It's not bad, but we don't want our children to outlive some stages of play. We want them to really follow those stages one by one, because they are developing. We want to teach them to develop. So we are saying they may play alone for some time, but then they should move to copying someone playing near them. They should actually be able to play imitating one another, which we call parallel play. Then they move on to associative play. I had to actually force Samson and Solomon to play together, and they did that. Then we also want then our children then to, at the end of the day, then cooperate, whether children themselves or children and adults. You then saw me join them to play, and we were singing together. We made our very short. We didn't want to be overly repeating what our colleagues in Uganda did and what our colleagues in Kenya did. Then about assessment, our argument is that as our children are playing, from the time they enter the school premises or the home-based learning premises, we are saying assessment begins. We begin assessment by the time our child is at our premises. We are with them. We see them. We start assessing all the developmental aspects of the child, and we are saying socially, morally, intellectually, physically, in terms of language, in terms of emotional development, and even the spiritual conduct of our child. So we are saying we don't just want to look at the child in terms of what she's able to do, whether they are able to exhibit gross motor and fine motor skills, but we are also saying how are they using language? How are they using language? Is that language conducive to the learning environment that they are interacting with other learners? Is that language appropriate for the age level? Or they are using language that is supposed to be used by adults in their various conversations? Is the language that the child is using morally acceptable by you in your culture? So that's our argument. Physically, you saw what Samson was doing. He was using his gross motor skills, but he was using that to hit the other child. Is that good? Can we say there's fine motor development because he was using his hands and fingers to stretch the other child? No, he's using those skills wrongly. So in terms of physical development, we want to be assessing our learners. So in terms of the domains, I've just simplified and acronymed the development symbols SIMPLES, so that we don't forget the domains social, intellectual, moral, physical, language, emotional, and spiritual. Then at least I think we have all agreed from the 3 presentations now that play is regarded as a waste of time, sometimes by the children themselves and sometimes by us as teachers, such that we end up instructing children to stop playing. You saw me saying, now you can stop, you can go and play this way, you can go and play. That's guided play, but then that play is very dangerous for children, especially if it is their day which they are supposed to play, where we are saying play should be a vehicle for learning and development, whether indoors or outdoors. So basically, I think about play, we are very happy that our colleagues and us were able to really play. Then in terms of how we organize the play day in Zimbabwe, we have talked to our teachers and we are yet to conduct workshops in this regard. We want our children to participate in the planning process. We are using what we call the plan, do, review process. And we want our children to be part of the planning process. As soon as the children arrive at school, you saw me playing with them and saying, Vana, Vana, Vana. It was like saying, children, come, let's have our day. So we are saying we have a circle time. We bring our children together first so that we can really see them when we start the assessment process. Then we go to free play. We ask them to go where they want to and play the way they want. Then in that process, the teacher is always there. And the teacher is a facilitator. What is the teacher doing? The teacher is just making sure that the child is not harming himself or that the child is not harming other children. So we are always there talking to our children, trying to see what they are doing, trying to extend their play. Then we also want to make sure that there is time for toileting. Our children are still very young. Sometimes they fear talking to us and telling us that they want to use the toilet, and they will never tell you that they are upset or they want to use the toilet. So they may remain quiet and wait themselves. They may saw you themselves and you start complaining. So make sure that there's always some few minutes for toileting. Then you always make sure that there's time for a meal or a snack. We have told our teachers in the various centers in Zimbabwe that please, let's have a meal or a snack. Make sure so that you cater for the types of Solomon who did not eat anything at home. Then we also need to have nap time. That one is a must. We must nap. We must rest. It has its own values. Kurara, sleeping. In Zimbabwe we call it kurara. We need time for sleeping. That has to be catered for. But you please bear with us. We are not going to force children to sleep. Some child may not want to sleep as in real slumber, but they may want just to lie down, relax, and they may not even fall asleep. Don't force them to sleep. You may just encourage them to sleep, but don't force them to sleep, lest you have problems or cultural connotations that go together with that. Then, ladies and gentlemen, I think you agree with us from Uganda, Kenya. Oh, remember when we were from Kalai? We are no longer from Zimbabwe. Play prepares children to learn from their local environment. So, teachers, parents, let's make use of the material that is available in the local environment. We had bottles of water here. That's why we had to use the bottles of water. There was nothing else for us here. But under normal circumstances, we have a lot of material from the local environment. Our colleagues from Uganda and Kenya tried to bring something. If we were in Zimbabwe, obviously we would tire with the type of material that we will bring to our learning environment. I thank you, colleagues. Joyce from Zimbabwe.
Thank you very much, teachers from the different countries who have done the presentations. Now we are going to start the discussion. First, from now, the audience, the teachers. What have you learned that you think you are going to go, drive back your center when you go back. The presentations, what have you learned that you think you are going to go back and start implementing on how to organize the play day? Going to get microphones for some people to. Microphone, where are you? There's somebody here. After that, we are going to also say things that we want to be better, okay?
Thank you so much, sir. Children were grouped and guided by their teacher.
So for you, what are you going to do?
I'm going to group the children and guide them.
You are the one going to group them?
I will group them, sir.
Who groups the children? Is themselves to do what? Don't, the teacher should not control. We just ask them. We are going to form groups of maybe 3 or 5. Now, it's up to you. Go and play. Do you get it? Don't force them that you play with this one, you with this one. You understand that?
Thank you so much, sir. I'm a parent from Kalongo. What I've learned is that we've been preventing these children from play. But now
Why?
what I've learned is that
Why have
we
you stopped
think
them?
that play is a bad thing. Children are losing. When they play, they lose the learning in the class. So that's why we've been preventing them from play. But now, play is a good thing. So I'm going to my center, my parents, fellow parents, children play freely. And we should make material for these children play such that they will get to know, to discover, and they will have learn on their own. Thank you, sir.
I was going to be happy with what you are saying, but I'm not yet happy.
Why?
If possible, is it possible for you, when you go back, to organize your parents, come together, and you make materials? Well, you are the one leading them to make materials, to make the children play.
Very well, I'm going to do so.
What is your name?
My name is Wanyenya from Chikukumbe.
From
Center.
Chikum.
Yeah.
Where is the person from Chikukumbe? Where are you?
They're here.
Write the name.
Yeah.
Organize the parents. Come. Research assistant. Where are you?
He has gone out.
He has gone out. The Kyambogo people. Now we are going to get that day. That day we have to know that day when this one has organized the parents to make the materials for what?
For the children.
For play. Good. Now you are in the program. Another one.
Thank you very much. I'm Namswa Aida from Kaliro. What I've learned,
You're a parent or a teacher?
I'm a teacher,
Okay.
but I've learned how to assess children when they are playing. Then I have 2 questions which I want you to help me. Because when they were playing, I was flashing back and looking at my children. They have been assessing them. I have 2 children, and they have different behaviors when they are playing. The first one does not want to join the groups. When you convince and tell him to join, he feels like you are burdening him. And one day he felt like going back to class. Then I talked to him and allowed him to do the thing of his interest. That person is a person who stands near those ones who are playing and look for the playing materials while observing this one.